Okay, I think we have everybody. This is People of the State of Michigan versus Bador El-Yassari, docket number 19-220FC. And this is the time set for hearing on the defendant's motion to modify bond. And that's Mr. Aboud's motion, and Ms. Matusko, for the record, is here for the people. And Ms. El-Yassari is here via Polycom from the jail. So, Mr. Aboud, you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Thank you. I'm sure the court is not only familiar with I'll say the gist, but probably even the details of this case, given the fact that it's set through the trial of Jacob Fisher, as well as it's read a number of motions on behalf of Mr. Bador El-Yassari. And so, obviously, this matter was scheduled to go to trial a while ago, almost not quite a year, but about 6 months ago. And the delay has been, some may say, attributed to the defendant, but there are a number of other circumstances outside of the defendant's control, including the pandemic that we're facing. Some of the issues, apparently the Court of Appeals thought there was some merit, and the only issue on the bond that we're asking to be modified is the issue with the $850,000 cash surety, which the defendant doesn't have to have any ability to post. And based upon the facts and circumstances set forth in our motion, we would ask the court to modify that bond.
All right, thank you. Ms. Matusko?
Thank you, Your Honor. We did file a response outlining some of our reasons for the factors that I did provide with the court. We did have a hearing similarly back in May of 2019, where this court did initially set the bond amount at $850,000. Much has remained unchanged in favor of the defendant since that date. However, this court now has heard the trial that Mr. Aboud did allude to of Jacob Fisher. So this court is in a better position now to see the extensive and brutal nature of this homicide, as well as Ms. El-Yassari's role in assisting and conspiring in that homicide. We outlined how she has no real ties to this community. She's unable to name anyone or really identify what the ties are, though she does cite that she's been a resident for 9 years. We noted that she has dual citizenship. She did try to leave prior to being in custody. Your Honor, we would just ask that the motion be denied and the bond remain at $850,000.
All right, thank you. Well, first of all, I do agree with the analysis that's in the people's response that although there's been a lengthy delay in this matter, there's really most of it is attributable either to the defendant or to the Michigan Supreme Court order that was necessitated by the pandemic. So there's really only 187 days that can't be attributed to either the defendant or the Michigan Supreme Court order. Be that as it may, I did have a bond hearing in May of 2019, and I considered the factors under the court rule. Nothing has really changed except for maybe one thing since then. But as far as the circumstances of the defendant and the factors that are appropriate to consider, those haven't really changed. So this motion's been brought with nothing really new to report. The only thing that one could say has changed is that I presided over the trial of Jacob Fisher. And I can say that in addition to everything that I noted before when I went through the factors and set the $850,000 cash surety bond, I have now heard a lot of the evidence that was presented to the jury during Jacob Fisher's trial, and I can say that the prosecutor's also given me this information that apparently the defendant attempted to leave the United States to travel to Iraq with Mr. El-Yassari's body, and that she didn't purchase the ticket herself, but enlisted the help of her brother-in-law at the time. That, together with the evidence that I heard at the Jacob Fisher trial, is a compelling reason not to make any change in the bond. The evidence that came out at the Jacob Fisher trial, if believed with respect to Ms. El-Yassari, would, and I'm not commenting on whether I think she's guilty or not, but if a jury believed that same evidence with respect to her, and they did with respect to Mr. Fisher, then it would evidence a cunning, clever, conniving, meticulous plan that had many moving parts and really was thought out and executed extremely meticulously. And you put that together with her attempt to at least want to or try to make travel arrangements to leave the country previously, and that does not bode well for any kind of confidence that something couldn't be concocted again. So I consider her a flight risk, and for the same, and as far as the seriousness of the offense, that weighs very heavily as well, and safety of the community, and altogether those factors weigh in favor of no change in the bond. I would add that at this point, and for some time now, the delay has not been the pandemic, although that is true. The pandemic is preventing jury trials, but she chose to appeal to the Court of Appeals and asked for a stay to do that, which she's entitled to pretty much under the court rule. So that accounts for the current delay. So for all of those reasons, I'm denying the motion to amend the bond. And if there's nothing else for the record, that will conclude our hearing.